And welcome to viewers of PTV World and PTV Network. Well, the first test match is over. Australia has won by an innings and 99 runs on the 5th day here at Rawalpindi. With us we have the former test captain of Pakistan and an international commentator these days, Ramiz. Welcome, Ramiz.
Thank you very much.
Well, what happened?
Well, I think Pakistan didn't play this test match particularly well. They were mentally not at the same level as the Australians were. There was some very poor team selection for this particular test match. I think they could have done without Mohammad Hussain to begin with. Amir Sohail is already a very fine left-arm bowler. And then their batting did not click. I thought some very loose shots were played. It was not a good beginning to the series.
Well, one normally sees if the batsmen have failed in the first inning, they expect them to settle down or build up the innings in the second. But unfortunately for all the Australian players, or for that matter the Pakistani players, in the second innings they just once again failed to deliver. And we've been talking since the start of this match on this mental preparedness, professional approach. What do you think is wrong with the Pakistan team?
I think they've just been confronted by a very professional team, and Australians are known to play the game very hard. They've got a set of very talented players. They work well in the nets, they work well as a team, and I think after the one-day victory of the Pakistanis in Canada, people were hoping that they will click in the test matches also, but this is a different ball game. Test matches are played in different character, different vein. You have to be a little bit more patient with your results, you have to be more concise with your approach. Technically, you should be well equipped. There were some very loose shots played. As I said, technically, I think the spinners were not properly played by the Pakistani batsmen also. So overall, the chain reaction started and it didn't work for them at all.
Well, coming on to individual performances, I think North Australia were in the first innings, getting Pakistan to 169, and a very disappointing 140 odd in the second innings. I mean, that was very disappointing. So, of course, in the second innings, I thought a little unlucky, was also shaping well. So, he was the only batsman who really stood out there.
Excuse me. Saeed Anwar played very straight in the first innings. Salim Malik in the second innings showed the Pakistani batsmen how easy it becomes if you play your normal game. I think that is what the Pakistanis failed to do. In the second innings especially, they should have been their own, a little positive. It was pointless to stay there and play out the time. It has never happened in test match cricket. Also in the first innings, Saeed Anwar, the player should have taken leaf out of his batting style, played very straight to mid-off and mid-on, didn't try to pelt the ball. He just caressed it in the gaps, and that's how he performed so very well. Also, I thought the fielding was not up to the mark. So many singles were given away by the Pakistanis through mid-off and mid-on. That didn't help to exert the pressure on the Australians when they were 30-odd for 3. And that is where they let them off the hook.
And runs were coming briskly at that time. And when we come on to the spinners, obviously a lot has been written about this pitch. Pakistan went in with 3 specialist spinners and the 4th in the shape of Amir Sohail. And Australia, of course, the rookie leg spinner, McGill, and the other one, Miller, making his test debut. Yet, they bowled much, much better than our spinners who have been on to this art for a long time.
Yes, I think you had 2 attacking bowlers in Wasim Akram and Mushtaq Ahmed. A leg spinner is always attacking, and Siklan should have bowled more maiden overs. I think he gave away at least 25 to 30 runs more than what Amir was expecting him to do. And obviously, the width was provided to the Australian players. It's important that you end your spin on a spinning track within the stump so that the width is not given to the players. So many fours or singles were taken, spur of the wicket. Either the Australians were cutting our spinners or sweeping them, and then also through mid-off, mid-on taking those singles. So overall, it was a little loose stuff from the Pakistani spinners, whereas the Australians, a chap who just played 2 test matches and the other one making his debut, bowled to a set plan. Mark Taylor didn't experiment much He set them a very, very good field and then was back, but very fine fielding. So overall, they did a tremendous job for the Australian captain and made things very easier for him.
Well, after a long time, with now McGillop having improved and bowled extremely well in this match here, and obviously he's just come into the game at that international level with a little more exposure. He's going to develop into a better leg spinner. So Australia now, with Shane Warne also recovering, I think I was having a word with Mark Taylor. So I said, what do you do then? So he said, well, we just might play the two of them.
Yes, there's a case of playing two leg spinners against probably maybe West Indies or England or New Zealand, who have a poor record against the leggies. Obviously, he's a great prospect. He spins the ball appreciably. He doesn't have a wrong run because of his action, which is front on for a leg spinner. But then he backs it up with a very good top spinner. So he's got a little bit of variety, and with experience, he'll become even better.
And a word about Healy's keeping, of course, getting that World Test record now.
Well, Healy has been special for the Australians. It's very important to have a good keeper to pep up the confidence of the entire team, that he has done so wonderfully well over the years. He's very safe against Shane Warne, a very, very difficult bowler to keep wickets against, and he's done remarkably well. He's read his round runs well, his sharp leg spinners, and that is why he's become one of the greatest wicket keepers in the world.
And it's always nice to see, as a matter of fact, I think practically all wicket keepers do it, who's Captain Pakistan. You know, the way he encourages his bowlers, his fielders, he's at it all the time, keeping wicket, shouting with them, word of encouragement here or there. Also at times I notice he's running up to the bowler and perhaps giving him advice as to where to bowl.
Yes, he's a centre figure in the entire setup. He's the one who encourages them. He tells them where to bowl, the length, the right attitude, approach, and he must be telling Mark Taylor how the bowler is bowling or whether the wicket is taking any spin or seaming about. So he has become a central figure in Mark Taylor's winning sequence.
So now that the first test is over, and of course Australia won up in this 3-test series, what changes would you suggest that the Pakistan management look for before they go into the second test?
I think they need to have Shoaib Akhtar back in the 11. He is feared by the Australians. Alan Border thinks very highly of him. Mohammad Hussain, a very talented youngster, very good one-day player, but I think he needs time to really do well at the 5-day level. I think with Amir Sohail as the left armour, you do not need another spinner. Also, the fact that the number 3 slot is a little dicey situation for Pakistan. Mohammad Wasim, a very talented youngster again, has done really well in test matches. Just need to work a little bit in the nets with his footwork. And maybe have Imran playing at number 3 because he is Pakistan's best batsman, and the best batsman should go in there and tackle the best bowling of the world. So a little bit change there could help Pakistan win the second test match.
So one final question, Ramiz. You've seen the strength of the Australians in this particular test match, and also the strength or weakness of the Pakistan team. One really doesn't expect miracles. How do you see these series ending?
It's a difficult situation now for the Pakistanis. In the test match series, you need to do well in the first test match. That is very important. You need to experiment with whatever wicket you want to play in the first game. But if you lose the first test match in a 3-match series, then it becomes that much more difficult to experiment with your setup or with your wickets or with your team selection. You might lose a test match, then it becomes an increasingly difficult art to save the series. Right now, I think Pakistan need to refocus, need to think over their mistakes, need to determine that what went wrong, the batting let them down. Obviously, they're all class players. They need to click well as a team on this 5-day encounter. Miyad out there and Amir Sohail, they have a very good chance of squaring the test series in Peshawar.
Ramiz, thank you very much for being with us. So viewers, this was Ramiz Raja, his views about the series, his views about the future 2 tests yet to be played. Remember, Australia beating Pakistan here in the first test match by an innings. They've done this 3 times before. All these 3 times were in Australia. And this is the first time they've done it on Pakistan's soil. And I'm sure they're very encouraged. The last time they won a series here in Pakistan was in 59-60. under the captaincy of Richie Benaud. But I can assure you, as the Pakistan skipper and coach Joe Niadab have been talking, they will regroup, they will come back and make this series much, much tougher for Australia. Thank you, and Khuda Hafiz.